Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be checking out some incredibly fun battles in the Retro Cup featuring the Triple Bite theme team. This team features Blastoise on the lead, Shadow Nidoqueen save switch, Shadow Golbat as the closer, all running the fast move of Bite. To be honest, this team ended up exceeding my expectations quite a bit. Despite the fact that the team struggles a lot with fighting types in Wall Rain, I was able to have all positive sets with it. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out the Triple Bite theme team in action in the Retro Cup. Hopping into the first match, leading Blastoise into Shadow Lapras. Honestly, Shadow Lapras is a pretty big problem spot for this team, so I'm going to stay in here with Blastoise and try and do as much damage as possible. As you're going to see, these bites really add up even against the neutral target like Shadow Lapras. I go for the Hydro Cannon and I'm able to land it. Skull Bash would do massive damage here, so I am going to respect it with a shield. Shadow Lapras baits with Surf and then brings in Shadow Machamp. I'm going to stay in with the Blastoise to hopefully force them to throw, and they do. This is perfect. Now I can bring in the Shadow Golbat. My plan is to farm up and then try and catch a Rock Slide onto Nidoqueen. We're farming up, we switch, but they hold on to their energy. Thankfully, anything they throw here is still going to be resisted outside of a Payback. Odds are they're probably not running Payback, which is very nice, but they are going to be able to hit me with 2 Cross Chops here as opposed to only 1 Rock Slide. Second Cross Chop comes through. We are barely able to bite down the Machamp. As I mentioned at the beginning, fighters are very tough for this team. Opponent is waiting the switch clock. In comes Shadow Lapras, and it has the Surf loaded. I'm going to save the shield for Shadow Golbat in the back. In the back, they have Frostlass, and this game is over. Golbat going straight for the Poison Fang. This is only resisted, but it's going to lower that defense. Frostlass only going to be able to get to 1 move, and from here, Shadow Golbat can sweep. We take down the Frostlass, back in comes the Lapras, down goes Lapras, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Blastoise into Primeape. This is not a great lead. I'm going to save switch into the Nidoqueen, hoping they switch out, and they do. They switch in Frostlass, which is not a counter to Bite Nidoqueen. We can shield once and farm all the way down because I am a Shadow. And this way, I get a big energy lead, and that's honestly what Nidoqueen needs to be able to take out a fighter when it's running Bite. So we do have quite a bit of damage. I'm going to fire off the Poison Fang, and they no-shield it. These bites are actually starting to add up now on the Primeape. I don't want to give up my final shield, so I am going to let that go, and then bring in the Golbat. They're only going to be able to reach 1 move here. This could be an Ice Punch, so I am going to respect it with the shield, and we'll have to see what they do have in the back. In the back, they have Trevenant, and we are in a very nice position to close out the match. I go for the Poison Fang. They're forced to shield. These bites are doing more and more and more damage. They're forced to Shadow Ball here, but Blastoise is going to be able to farm down before they reach a single Seed Bomb. Blastoise taking down the Trevenant, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Blastoise into Araquanid. Thanks to Bite, this is actually a slightly better matchup for Blastoise, but still not an ideal one. I'm going to stay in here and wait for them to throw. They're going to fire off a Bubble Beam. That's totally fine. I'm going to bank the energy, save switch into the Nidoqueen. Opponent responds with a Cofagrigus, thinking that they were going to be resisting the fast move, but instead, they are getting hit for super effective. Here, I do make a mistake. You don't actually have to throw a Poison Fang to farm down if you're a Shadow Nidoqueen. You can shield once and farm down without lowering their defense. So we are going to be able to farm down. That is totally fine. In the back, they have Swampert. And again, these bites are really starting to add up on the Swampert. Swampert not used to having to worry about fast move pressure from a Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen able to get the Swampert into the red. They do have back-to-back Hydro Cannons here. We're going to let that go. Bring in Blastoise. Back in comes Araquanid. And in comes Shadow Golbat, and this is a thoroughly miserable matchup for the Araquanid. They go for the Bubble Beam. That's not going to do anything. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Hopping into the next match, leading Blastoise into another Primeape. Same plan as last time. I'm going to save switch into Nidoqueen, but my opponent decides to stay in. They checked the fast move, saw it was Bite, and realized that this is actually a good matchup. They stay in, land an Ice Punch, and I get taken out by a Rangaroo. So a very smart play by my opponent to check the fast move before they switched out. And now, honestly, I'm in a lot of trouble because I don't have a great way of taking out that Primeape in the back. Blastoise looking for the farm down, not quite able to get there, and I fire off a Hydro Cannon just before they're able to reach a second foul play. That will take out a Rangaroo, but back in comes Primeape, and a Primeape with 2 shields is basically game over for this team. I'm gonna fire off the Hydro Cannon, hoping for the no shield, but they do shield it. In comes Shadow Golbat, but Primeape is going to be able to reach back-to-back moves here. I do shield the Ice Punch, but the bites are not going to be able to do enough damage, and they're able to reach another Ice Punch. This won't KO, but it will do massive super effective damage. In the back, they have Jellicent. I am just not able to get to the Shadow Ball, and that will be game over. Bubble Beam takes down the Golbat, and we lose a very tough match. Hopping into the next match, leading Blastoise into Zangoose. Pretty neutral lead, so I'm going to save switch. We are going to save switch into Shadow Nidoqueen, and the opponent is going to respond with Shadow Hypno. This is still not a great matchup if you're the Nidoqueen, but at the very least we're hitting back for super effective damage with the bites. Hypno able to tank the Poison Fang and barely able to farm down. Hypno is going to leave with a move, but Blastoise does have some bulk to it, so we are going to be able to tank whatever they throw here. Hypno fires off the Shadow Ball. We tank it, no problem, while looking very stylish in the process. Back in comes Zangoose. I'm just going to farm up and wait for them to throw. They are going to empty their energy, and now I have 2 shield Golbat against the world. In comes Golbat. They're going to fire off a move, and I am going to use my first shield. We are going to shield up the Night Slash. What do they have in back? They have Frostlass, and we are in a commanding position to close out this match. I'm going to fire off the Poison Fang. Doesn't matter if they shield or not. They are not getting to the back-to-back avalanches. We just have to shield once and then bite down the rest of their team. Golbat takes down the Frostlass. Back in comes Zangoose. They get bitten down as well, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, hitting Blastoise into another Zangoose. Same plan as last time, we're going to save switch into the Shadow Nidoqueen. Zangoose farms up and then still brings in Frostlass. They threw a couple Shadow Claws there, so they saw the fast move and still brought the Frostlass in to get absolutely destroyed. Nidoqueen fully able to farm down, and we leave with a ton of energy for whatever the opponent decides to bring in. Do they bring in the Zangoose here? They do not. They bring in Hypno. I'm just going to start firing off Poison Fang after Poison Fang against this Hypno, hoping I can get to a second, but I die with the move. From here, I can very safely bring in Blastoise to handle that Shadow Hypno, and then I have Shadow Golbat to take out the Zangoose in the back. They go for the Shadow Ball. In comes Zangoose, and in comes Golbat. I'm going to tank the first just in case they do get a Night Slash boost here. So I'm going to let that through. Night Slash, we tank that, no problem. They're able to reach a second, but they're not going to be able to reach a third. We shield up the Night Slash, able to farm down the Zangoose. From here, this game is over. Back in comes Hypno, but I'm going to be able to fire off the Poison Fang. They do commit the shield. We farm down anyway, and that is another win. Hopping into the next match, hitting Blastoise into another Araquanid. This time I decide to immediately save switch into the Nidoqueen. Bit of a mistake on my part. I believe I should have probably farmed up energy on Blastoise, let them throw, and then switch in. They go for the Bubble Beam, which is going to debuff me, and then they're going to bring in a Dragon Tail Shadow Gyarados, a very cool pick. I'm going to fire off the Poison Fang, trying to bite them down, but the Dragon Tails are a bit too much, and they're able to take me out. I'm going to tank the damage on Blastoise, and as I have in the past, hope that 2 shield Shadow Golbat is going to be able to win me this game. They go for the crunch. We tank that, and I'm able to bite down. Opponent brings back in Araquanid. I'm going to bring in the Shadow Golbat, and they're going to stay in to fire off a Bubble Beam. So that hopefully means whatever they have in the back is weak to Golbat. We tank the Bubble Beam, and in the back, they have Greedent. I'm going to fire off the Poison Fang. Greedent is very tanky, so it's less susceptible to fast move pressure than a lot of Mons. Greedent is going to fire off a move, and I'm going to let the first one through. We do tank a Body Slam here, and I know I'm going to have to tank at least one, because Greedent is extremely spammy. Greedent, add another Body Slam, and I will commit the shield. I notice my switch clock is coming up here soon, so I switch, and I'm able to catch the third Body Slam onto Blastoise. That is massive. Greedent still switch locked in here. Blastoise, can we farm down? Yes, we can. They were not able to leave with a move banked. That is massive. Back in comes Araquanid. It still has 2 shields, but I do have quite a bit of energy. Hydro Cannon gets the shield, and I have a Poison Fang loaded on Shadow Golbat, and they should be getting the final shield and lowering their defense. It's now a race. Bug Bite versus Bite. Who is going to win? And they're going to fire off a last second Bubble Beam, but this looks like it may be too little too late as Golbat able to reach a final Poison Fang. Poison Fang is going to be taking care of the Araquanid, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, sending Blastoise into Trevenant. Honestly, not a bad lead with Bite, but I'm still going to save switch into Nidoqueen. In comes Nidoqueen, which is going to be met with Frostlass. Opponent running Double Ghost, which you absolutely love to see if you're running Triple Bite. We shield up the Avalanche, and we're going to fully commit to the farm down. Now we leave with a ton of energy to threaten either the Trevenant or whatever they have in the back. Opponent waiting the switch timer, and their final Pokemon is a Vigoroth. Normally fighting types are a problem, but Vigoroth is a fake fighter. It's not actually a fighting type, so as you're going to see, these bites are really going to add up. Now I can safely bring in the Blastoise on the Vigoroth, and I can save the bat in the back for Trevenant. In comes Trevenant. They're going to fire off a move. I don't believe they can bait and get there, so I shield. It is the Shadow Ball, and this game is over. I can fully farm down, and then Poison Fang, and since this is their final Pokemon, they have no way to reset that defense drop. Poison Fang lands, and now we can very safely bite down. Vigoroth firing off a last-second Body Slam. Body Slam, not enough. We farm down, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, sending Blastoise into Medicham. This is not a great Pokemon to see because it's very bulky. We save switch into our Shadow Nidoqueen, which is met with Walrein. As I mentioned at the beginning, Walrein is a pretty big issue for this team. So basically at this point, my entire hope is just to save 2 shields for the Golbat, have Blastoise do its best to take out the Walrein, and hope that 2-shield Golbat is going to be able to sweep. Walrein fires off the Earthquake. That does big damage. I'm going to farm up and go for the Hydro Cannon on what should be CMP to the Icicle Spear, hoping that it KOs. Hydro Cannon, barely not enough to KO, and they're going to be able to hit me with an Icicle Spear. That is quite unfortunate. I bring in Golbat, and back in comes Medicham. Medicham is still very healthy, and this is going to be a problem because bulky Pokemon can survive a lot of bites. I am trying to reach a Poison Fang, and I'm going for it as soon as I'm able to get there. Poison Fang does get shielded. Medicham, recognizing they can probably get to 3 Ice Punches here. I'm still going to try my best, shielding up, doing what I can. Come on, Shadow Golbat. Farm down. We cannot, and we're going to be hit with the Ice Punch. Very unfortunate. Ice Punch, big damage onto the Golbat. What did they have in the back? They had Altaria. And unfortunately, we are going to lose this one. The combination of Walrus and Medicham, just too tanky. And that is a good game. Hopping into the final match, sending Blastoise into Sirfetch'd. Terrible lead, going to immediately save switch into the Nidoqueen, and the opponent responds with Cofagrigus. Cofagrigus getting absolutely shredded by the bites. I do need to shield here, but then I can very safely one shield and farm all the way down. Cofagrigus not going to be able to reach a move, and we leave with a ton of energy. I'm really needing the opponent to bring back in the Sirfetch'd, and that's exactly what they do. I fire off the Poison Fang, and it gets shielded. That is fantastic. Nidoqueen able to reach another Poison Fang. This will do massive damage or grab the final shield. They let it go, and we're almost able to take out the Sirfetch'd. At this point, I'm just going to save a shield for Shadow Golbat in the back. In comes Golbat. Their final Pokemon is Galvantula. This is not great having a flying type and a water type left, but look at the bite damage onto Galvantula. I'm just going to let this go. They actually lunge, but I should be able to bite all the way down here. Flying and water do counter electric on this day, as we're just going to fully bite through the Galvantula, and that is a good game. All in all, I had a ton of fun running the Triple Bite theme team. Bite is an incredibly powerful fast move in the Retro Cup, as 2 of the 3 typings that resist it, Dark and Fairy, are banned. If you're wanting to use Bite on a team for climbing, one recommendation I would make is swapping the Blastoise for something like Defense Deoxys. That way you get a much harder check to fighters. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is genuinely incredible, so thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.